Hi guys, Dazzie here with another episode of my showcase series. This time it is episode 56, and tonight I will be showcasing the small publishers' key issue comic books in my personal collection, part 2. Got so many to get through, guys. There'll probably be a third part to this as well. I like indie books. I like them especially if they've been optioned with a chance of getting onto the screen. I like books that are hard to find, low printed. Let's get into it. And we're starting with a very scarce book, especially here in the UK. And when I first started collecting, I used to tune into lots of channels, and this book was often shown in halls from across the pond. So I made it my mission, if I ever found the copy, I would snag it. And like I said, this is the only copy I've ever seen over here, and I got it. The book in question from slave labour is Milk and Cheese, issue number 1. The first printing, and just a very, very scarce book. I must admit, I haven't even read it. I was that scared to even open it up. I paid 20 quid for this in the middle of 2018 in Birmingham. Just a fantastic issue. There are multiple printings though with this book, so go careful. The price fluctuates on the book. Roughly you can get one for around about 30 to 100 at the moment, anywhere in that kind of range. Mine's a pretty minty copy too. I think it's an adult book to say the least, and I did sell a recent slave labour book, so I know what the content is like. Okay, let's get into some books from one of my favourite small publishers, and that is Boom Studios. They've come up with a lot of great key issues of late. A lot of books that have been optioned, some really good reads. First up, I had to get this book again because initially I picked this one up for 50 pence in Proud Line in Cheltenham. And you know what it's like, you don't get any buzz about it. And I thought if I can make a few quid for it, I'd sell it. So I listed it eventually for about a fiver, and it went straight away because it just got optioned. So I then went back and picked up another copy for 8 quid, go figure. But, you know, whether it makes the screen, I don't know. The book in question is Black Badge, issue number 1. And this is a story about a top secret elite branch of Boy Scouts tasked by the government to take on covert missions. And my boy is at Scouts right now, my eldest. Now, there are just 9,686 copies of this book. Now, in April of 2020, creator Matt Kint responded to a tweet asking if Black Badge had been optioned by saying, "We're just waiting for official announcement," then removed it from his Twitter account. So there are talks going on. Sorry, with postage in and packaging, it cost me £9.20 for this. It is a nicer copy than my 50p one though. Up next, another book. I enjoyed this read. This is Bone Parish, issue number 1. Basically where people are just like, I don't know, killed off and then they are turned into drugs, basically. And yeah, hence the cover. And it is a pretty striking cover, this one. This is the cover from Lee Garbett. This is the regular cover to Bone Parish. £3.50 for that one. Then I found the Ron Royce variant, and I paid 50p for this. It's a premiere issue written by Cullen Bunn about a new drug made from the ashes of the dead. Like I said, there was a lot of option talk about that. A book that's definitely been optioned is coming to the screen with Keanu Reeves. It's a recent book, and it was just a matter of time because thanks to one of my subscribers, Mark Oldroyd, he told me there's 650,000 copies of the first printing of Berserker, issue number 1. Why am I not surprised? An immortal warrior performs dangerous jobs for the US government in exchange for the truth about his own existence. There is a live-action TV show and an anime series coming by all accounts. Written by Keanu Reeves and Matt Kint. This is the regular Raphael Grandpa Red Smoke cover. Paid £4.60 for that. I think the second printing has around about 100,000 copies, and the third printing about 10,000. I still like that first printing though. You know, I know these later printings, and I've started slowly getting into the later printings, but for me, I'd still rather have the book that first came out. Here's a book. I saw the trailer for this. So it looks a pretty good horror, actually. I want to see it. This is The Empty Man, issue number 1. And in July 2020, according to THR, the movie was going to premiere in December of 20th, 2020. And I'm not sure whether it is on Netflix now. But the story is about a 6-part miniseries about a terrifying sickness called the Empty Man disease and the hysteria that follows. Seems pretty apt for the times we're in at the moment. £1 for that one on eBay, which was an absolute steal. That was going well over 20 to 30 at one point. Okay, here's a bit of a random one from Mutant Studios. This is Go-Go Power Rangers issue number 10. Why I got it, I don't know. I'm not a big Power Rangers fan, but it's the first appearance of the Power Ranger Slayer and the first appearance of Zord. £3.50 for that. Yeah, I've got a few Power Rangers books and I don't know why. Happy to find this one recently for 50p. This is Grass Kings issue number 1. And this is the first issue in a 15-issue series about a rural mystery following 3 brothers who rule their own trailer park kingdom. Now, this was optioned way back in October of 2019 by Legendary. This is the cover A. Pick that one up in Area 51 in Bristol. If you check out my favourite comic book adventures videos and check out Area 51, it's a fantastic shop. I went hunting yesterday in Cardiff. I picked up some absolute cracking issues, but I had a big run-in with one of the shop owners. He was doing something I didn't appreciate, and needless to say, I won't be using that shop again in the near future. Stay tuned, I'll give you more info on that in my next haul video. Up next, we've got Last Sons of America issue number 1. I paid £4.50 for this. It's the only book I've ever purchased online off Amazon Prime, or Amazon as it's known. This is there was meant to be a Last Sons of America movie, and it was headed into production with Peter Dinklage attached. Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, yeah. A biological terrorist attack in the US makes conceiving children impossible in America. Read this one, not a bad read. Yeah, 2 brothers, one huge, one small. I picked up this mini-series, a steal, that worked out at £1.43 an issue, because this was going to be a movie. And this is The Malignant Man, issue number 1. And James Wan posted on Instagram to announce a new film called Malignant. And it was based on this comic, Malignant Man. This is the cover A to issue number 1. To go with that, I have issue 2. This is a series that came out in 2011. And I think James Wan was going to basically do this one after the Aquaman film, but I don't know whether that's still the case. Issue 3. And the final issue, issue 4. So, you know, if it comes to fruition, you never know. We've all got, like I said, we've all got long boxes full of option books. And here's another one. Memetic. Wow, it's a mouthful. A 3-issue series about the progression of an infectious meme that leads to the annihilation of the human race within 72 hours. There seems to be a lot of sort of deadly disease books out. And there were just 7,010 copies of this book. This was optioned by Point Grey Pictures, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's production company. I was happy to find this for £1.25 in Tewkesbury. Talking of Tewkesbury, my good friend John Christopher has said he's going to bring in a ton of comics for me to have a look at some point. Looking forward to going back there. Some of my greatest pickups, you know. Okay, here's another one, a recent title. Got Once and Future, issue number 1. And this is a story about an evil Arthurian myth who is summoned from the past to wreak havoc in the present day. This is the regular Dan Mora cover. This book has been talked up massively on the forums, being optioned. Paid £6.99 for this on eBay. Didn't like paying that sort of price, but when I saw all the rumours, I jumped on board. I've got the 4th printing as well, which I think I've got listed, or I've just sold it, I can't remember. Not a lot to say about this book, except for it's huge, and it's probably the biggest indie book since The Walking Dead. Something is Killing the Children, issue number 1. Yes, I've got it, the first printing. Paid £4.35 for this the day it came out. Small American town in crisis is visited by a strange woman who claims she can see and slay invisible monsters that are savagely killing their children. This is the regular Werther Dell Adira cover. James Tynion has come out and said they are in talks at the moment to make this a television show. I have read issue 1, thought it was a solid read. Interested to see where it goes. To go with the regular cover, I have the Jay Lee and June Chung cover. $4.35 for that. Don't know what attracted me to that cover. I just like it. Jenny Frison one was there as well, but I chose that. And then we've got a recent AOK. We've got the local comic shop day exclusive foil edition. This came from my good friend JT Rogers from across the pond for 0 pennies. Thanks, pal. Really appreciate it. And my final Boom Studios book I'm going to show you. Actually, I've got 2 more. This next one has been optioned as well. This is The Spire, issue number 1. As the new Baroness of the Spire is about to be sworn in, a string of grisly murders prompting the commander of the City Watch to quickly become the killer, bring the killer to justice. Now, this was nominated for the Eisner Award for the Best Limited Series way back in 2016. There are just 9,524 copies of this one, and in February 2020 it was optioned by Blue Ice Pictures. This is the regular cover A, paid £2.50 for this in Forbidden Planet in Bristol. Surprised to see that still on the shelves actually. Up next, this was a good read, The Woods, issue number 1, and this was meant to be a TV show. And why do I know that? Because I spoke with the artist, and the artist is Michael Dianis, and there he is. He signed this one for me, and there he is, Dazzie, with the creator. Yep, this is basically about a load of children at school. They just get teleported and their school to another planet. Very bizarre. £3 for that one. That book was very expensive at one point. Don't know what he's doing now. Okay, next big pile of books. Let's get into some Scout comics. First up is a book I had about 4 copies of at one point. I gave one away as an AOK, I think. I gave one to a friend, and I think I sold one. So that left me with one. And it is Electric Black, issue number 1. And this is the variant 1 in 10 incentive by Rich Woodall and Joe Schmalk. Needful Things meets Tales from the Crypt in this new horror anthology written and illustrated by Richie Woodall and Joe Schmalk. And this has been optioned for an animated TV show. Paid £2.65 for that. I think I sold one in around about £15, something in that range. Yeah, that's the better book, by the way, because of course you have the characters on the front cover. Okay, up next, another book that's been optioned. This was a bizarre read. I didn't really like it. This is Fisheye number 1. Look at that cover though. Wow. A reality television television cop experiences a loss in ratings until he becomes marked for death by an unknown group of killers. Paid £10 for this copy. Wow, on eBay, that's a lot of money. So I have found several of these in the past for £1 and £2. Made some good money off it, don't get me wrong. But this was meant to be an option for a movie. So whether that happens, we don't know. This one is a recent pickup. It's recently been optioned. This is the Forever Maps, issue number 1. And I love the premise of this. A young man is given a map which leads to another map and continues on for decades without the man aging until he discontinues his search. Now, prior to Scout publishing this series, there was a successful Kickstarter campaign that produced an issue. Paid £5.35 for this, and that was in February of this year. Another book I didn't particularly enjoy the read, but I love the cover. This is Long Lost, issue number 1. This was supposedly going to be a TV show as well. Paid 50p for this in the Proud Lion in Cheltenham. Up next, we have The Mall, issue 0. This was the Free Comic Book Day from 2018. Paid £2.20 for this on eBay. The Mall was supposedly going to be a TV show, basically about a lot of youngsters in a shopping mall, and the gangsters are in there with them. I had to go with the issue 0. I picked up issue number 1 for 50p. Again, The Mall was very hot at one point. Here was a book, another book. You know, those 50p bins have been brilliant to me. Here's another one for 50p. Solar Flare, issue number 1. Primary issue of a series that follows a man who travels across the country to reunite with his daughter while society unravels after a solar flare wipes out all electricity. Wasn't a bad read, and I picked this up in November of 2018. Supposedly going to be a movie. We'll see if it happens. Another book I picked up, because this one was really, really hot at one point, is The Source, issue number 1. I think I sold the second printing a little while ago. Just a book that has always had rumoured option talk. The forums were buzzing about it. Paid £12.74 for this. I don't like paying that sort of price. It won't happen again. See where The Source goes though. Here's one of the first little runs of books I ever picked up when I first got back into reading. And that was Stabbity Bunny, issue number 1. Yeah, just a bizarre story about like a serial killer. I think there was a lot of like poetry involved with the story, if I remember rightly. Paid £3.50 for that. I've had 2 or 3 of those. Sold off the entire early issues. I had like one up to God knows what, 7 or 8. Picked this one up recently. This was buzzing again on the forums. This is Autumnal, issue number 1. Like I say, paid £3.75 for this recently. Against the haunting backdrop of autumn, a woman and her daughter flee a difficult life in Chicago for the quaint and possibly pernicious town of Comfort Notch, New Hampshire. This is the regular Chris Sheeran cover, and this was made by one of the directors. Is it Lady in the Water or something? I can't remember. But anyway, the guy who was to do with this book has got a couple of films out, and that's why people were thinking this has option written all over it. Autumnal. Haven't read that yet though. Okay, up next, a book that was optioned a long time ago when I first got into collecting. I've got 2 copies of this. One's up on my eBay page. This is Heathen, issue number 1 from Vault Comics, and I like Vault Comics. Primary issue of a series about a Viking woman banished from her village for kissing another woman, and the mistreatment that follows that motivates her to declare war on Odin. Okay, this was optioned way back in July of 2019 by Constantine Films, and they had secured a director. Okay, and this is as 9.8 as it gets. Paid £1 for this in Cheltenham. I think the other copy I first picked up was I paid a tenner for, and that's high grade too. Here's a story I really enjoyed. This reminded me a bit of Interview with a Vampire. This series was hot. I think it still goes for like at least 30-40 for the run. This is These Savage Shores, issue number 1. An ancient demon stows away on a ship to a new land, only to find there are older and deadlier demons than himself. Really enjoyed the read. Picked this up in Forbidden Planet, Bristol, for $3.20. To go with that number 1, I picked up the second printing, and of course that is a Tomb of Dracula homage. Great, great cover. The cover alone was selling that book at 20 plus at one point. Then up next we've got another issue 1, and this is the 3rd printing variant from Sumit Kumar cover. I believe in this book, I really do. I think it's got a future. If you get a chance, try and grab this one. And then I've got issue 2. Obviously a very low printed book as well. Look at those covers. Issue 3. $4.65 for that one. And issue 4. £3 for that one. Brilliant. Okay, up next I've got to show this one because it's a crossover. We're getting into some IDW books. This is IDW with DC. This is a great one because it is signed and it came from Australia as an AOK. This is Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 1. This is the Zing EB Games exclusive art by Ben Bishop cover. Australian variant. And it is signed by the cover artist John Somarava. Up here. That came from a guy who started to follow me on one of the forums, Paul Nichols. Thank you, mate. Another AOK now. I do very well with my AOKs. I do send a lot of book back though, so don't worry. You know, I don't just receive, I give too. And this is Heroes Heathen Comics exclusive cover B to, I can't even remember the issue. It is G.I. Joe, bear with me. Yep, that is issue 218. Great AOK from my best friend in the community, Comic Vantage, Lewis. Great issue. What a cover that is. Oh my days, this book alone goes for 30 to 40. Another G.I. Joe book now. We've got G.I. Joe Wanted for Crimes Against Cobra. Here's another 50p pickup. This is the first appearance of Frontier, Tiger, and Fade Away. Regular Chris Evan-Hewis cover. Up next, I started to watch this show and I quite enjoyed what I saw actually. Yeah, it was quite good and the humour was right on my alley. This is Glow issue number 1. Yeah, this was a TV show about female wrestlers. And it was, this is the regular Hannah Templar cover. If anybody's ever watched Glow, let me know. 50p for that one. Here's a book I picked up in Cardiff. I thought it was the real McCoy because it is an absolute identical issue, except for it says a later printing inside. This is Lock and Key, issue number 1, the facsimile edition. Oh well, pay £3.18 for this. In a shop, like I said, that I had a bad experience at yesterday. Up next, I've got the original first appearance. They're apparently going to be in an animated show by the end of the year. This is Micronauts, issue number 1. And this is an incentive 1 in 25 from KCW Color. I got this because I was going to meet, and I did meet the artist, the inker, sorry, and that is Jack Lawrence. Met him at the True Believers Con in Cheltenham. You know me and my photos, guys. Yeah, what did I pay for that one? $4.99. Not bad for a 1 in 25 incentive. If Micronauts ever happens, that's going to explode that book. Up next, let's get into some Power Rangers again. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 29. And this is the first appearance of the In-Space Rangers, the Dino Thunder Rangers. This is Jamal Campbell cover for £4.70. Can't believe I'm paying that. £4.70 for a Power Rangers book. What am I doing? Another one here, but this cover is one of the best covers, and I don't keep covers, but I think this is as good a cover as I've ever seen. What issue is this? I'll soon tell you. This is, oh, hang on. Take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5. This is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue 31. What was that all about? Look at that cover, guys. How sweet is that? That is an absolute beauty. Look at that reflection in the visor. And this I picked up because it is the first appearance of a new Mighty Morphin Rangers team, who was Ranger Slayer, the original Pink Ranger, Green Ranger, Yellow Ranger, Andros the Red, Manga Defender, and Dark Ranger. It's also the first appearance of the Solar Ranger. This is Miguel Mercado cover. Very talented man, clearly. Up next, we've got the next Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is Shattered Grid, issue number 1. And this is the first appearance of a new Megazord, the conclusion of the Shattered Grid storyline. Again, Jamal Campbell on the cover. You know, when it comes to live action appearances, I'll pick up anything. Why I'm picking these up, I don't know. Here's an IDW book that crosses over with Marvel, and this was very, very hot recently. This is Marvel Action Adventures, issue number 10. And this is the first appearance, believe it or not, of the Yellow Hawk. Robert Bruce Banner, an agent of AIM. Regular John Samarava cover, $2.99 for that in Forbidden Planet. Bit of a corner crunch on that one though, if I remember. Needs a bit of a press. Okay, some more AOKs from Australia and Paul Nichols. This is Revolution Transformers, issue number 1. This is an Australian variant. Pretty cool to have Australian variants. I've got a Star Wars Australian variant as well. Next, another AOK variant is Revolutionaries, issue number 1. Another Australian variant. Then we've got a book that was optioned, and this was to be a movie. This is Rotten Ruin, issue number 1. Crikey, this bag needs changing. This is the 5-issue miniseries about a group of kids surviving in the Sierra Mountains while being tracked by a zombie horde. Woo! Creepy. This is the Alex Ronald cover, regular, £6.60 for that. So I mean, I used to jump on board as soon as anything was optioned. Bang, fire it in there. But I'm being a lot more patient these days. Let's get some Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh my days, what's going on, Dazzie? Sonic the Hedgehog, issue number 7. The first appearance of the Neo Metals Sonic. I can't believe I've read this too. What's that all about? £3.98 for that. This is the regular Kieran Gates foil cover. You know, I did quite enjoy the Sonic the Hedgehog live action movie though. Good to see Jim Carrey back on screen, I thought. Up next, we got issue 8. And this is the first appearance of Silver the Hedgehog, the first character to use profanity when exclaiming, "Oh crap." Yes, I did it. The first appearance of Whisper the Wolf as well. This is an Evan Stanley cover. £2.64 for that. Here's a series I was watching. I didn't mind it. I like vampire stories. This is V-Wars, issue number 1. And of course this was a TV show. And this is the regular Ryan Brown cover. Yeah, the vampires look really cool. I just didn't think we saw enough of them. Let's get into some Turtles books to finish up, guys. Because I've got a few. And let us start with the IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 95. It's a big one. The first full appearance of Jennika, who transforms into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. There are just 15,381 copies of this. I paid 25 quid for this. I thought it was a good investment because I think she's around for the long term. I don't normally pay money like that. But I did get a monstrous number 1 free when I picked this up. So it wasn't a bad deal at all. This is the regular Dave Watcher cover. To go with the first printing, I have the second printing, which is also going up in value. This is cover up from Ben Johnson. There's Jennika in the back of the bus. $3.65. Issue 101 is the first appearance of Mona Lisa in comic books. Previously, she appeared in the animated series. $3.35 for that in Excelsior Comics in Bristol. That is a Sophie Campbell cover. I was delighted to find this one recently for £1. This is a reprint of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 1 from 1984. This book can go between 30 and 40. 48 pages, oversized format. This is the May 2020 Loot Crate exclusive. Like I say, £1 for that. Back into last year. And to go with that, another book from Kevin Eastman. I picked up Radically Rearranged Ragdolls. Radically Rearranged Ronin Ragdolls. Look at it. It's the same sort of mould as that. And I picked this up because I was meeting one of the artists, and that was Troy Little, who was the artist and character designer. There we go again. Dazzie's there, doing the rounds. And the final book I'm going to show you is my oldest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle book. This is Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I actually bought this for my daughter a long time ago, and now it's mine. This is number 6. I paid £6 for this. Do you know, it's one of them books. I actually paid, I think, 50p for it originally. Bought it for my daughter. She said she wasn't that keen on it, so I had to then buy it back off her for £6. How does that work? But this is the first appearance of Leatherhead, Jess Harley, a mutated alligator and enemy of the turtles. And this book can go for around about 20 as well. So that's it, guys. That is a wrap. Part 2, 30 minutes. It's a bit long. I've still got loads more indie books to show you. Plenty of showcases. If you like what you see, like and subscribe, all that jazz. Thanks and bye.